We've talked about the intense, emotionally charged side of working in community pediatrics, but what are some of the positive experiences that you've had working in that field?
I mean, children are just amazing. I'm always, constantly in awe of, inspired by learning from children and young people's, it's, their physical and emotional resilience and strength that they often unknowingly demonstrate in my encounters with them is just, quite significant. And, this can be seen across the whole spectrum of illness, from when they're well and stable to when they're very sick and stable, sometimes, towards the end of their life. And also in different settings, seeing them in hospital when they're unwell, in clinics and special schools when they're relatively stable and well. And also, despite all sorts of adverse experiences and challenging, psychosocial backgrounds, which I won't delve into, it's just really quite remarkable to see how children and young people cope with these adversities. And actually, there's so much that we can learn from them and take with us going forward. But I think there's, a lot of positive and rewarding experiences to just give one. And also the other thing I wanted to mention was that people working with children and young people, these include doctors, nurses, allied health professionals, anybody in pediatrics, on the whole, they're genuinely just kind, sensitive, and they've got the child and the family at the heart of what they do. And actually to be able to work with these people, quite often, it's a privilege, it's a bonus, but also it often makes an awful day bearable. So it's twofold: the children and the young people themselves, but also the people that I work with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I think it's always, a lot of people are surprised how, they say kids are resilient, but I think they actually are. Like they can handle so much, but I guess in when you want to protect a child, you think, oh, they can't handle this or deal with this, but they actually, it's amazing. I mean, I've got a nephew growing up, like now he's like 2.5, and it's incredible, like what he's learning and picking up. So I just find it amazing.
It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. And it's not to say, it's the easiest of experiences for them, but I don't know whether it's also to do with the developing brain as well, in the first couple of years of life. And but they've just got a completely different kind of, not that they choose to have this mindset, but, quite often children and young people, go through the most physically awful things, and or kind of emotionally, psychosocially awful situations as well. And they just cope and they manage, and really there's so much to learn from them. Sometimes it puts kind of my problems and, my kind of reflections into perspective as well.